Hello everyone, it is Joe here from OmniPoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon, and Dragon Majesty has now arrived in the PTCGO, and I've been able to get my hands on a few of the new cards, not quite all the best stuff just yet, but I wanted to get this video out here just to show the fun stuff that we can do with some of these new cards. Today it's going to be a pretty fun variant using a heavy focus on Altaria, with the main attackers being Drampa and Latios Prism Star, trying to be all basic focused and just using Altaria to buff their damage output to produce quite a fun non-GX variant. It's been doing reasonably in my first few games with it, and it is mainly a theory craft rather than just a really powerful deck from the off, but I thought this would be fun. We've seen how much potency these sort of shrine decks have been having in the early cups and over in Brazil as well. So I figured having a non-GX variant that can take on those sorts of shrine decks and probably beat them, to be honest, is going to be a good thing going forward, and it just gets to highlight some of these cool new stuff as well. So hope you do enjoy this more fun video, but let's get straight into it. First of all, we're going to play the 4-4 Altaria line. The Swablu allows us to draw a card here and there if we're dead drawing, so that's pretty cool. The Altaria is a new card from Dragon Majesty, you can see down here. It has Fight Song, the ability, your Dragon Pokemon's attacks do 20 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Very, very nice. Obviously stackable, so you want to get as many Altarias into play as possible. It actually has the attack Pierce for a DCE, which does 20 as well. Obviously Fight Song buffs its own damage, so even this can be a 2-hit KO if you have like Choice Band and a few Altarias in play. So in a last-ditch effort, Pierce can be an attack that we go for in this deck, to be perfectly honest. Then we're going to play 4 Drampas, 3 of the new Drampa with Dragon Wisdom. It's kind of like the Baby Yveltal's attack, where it does 20 for a colorless, and you can attach a basic energy from your discard pile to one of your Dragon Pokemon. This is really nice early game. We're going to try and get multiple Drampas down on the board, so we can use Dragon Wisdom, get some early damage on the opponent, hopefully with Choice Band and maybe 1 or 2 Altarias as it goes into the following turns, and we'll be powering up bench Drampas. Hyper Voice is his second attack, which actually is one of our main attacks in this deck. It just does 80, simple as. 80 doesn't sound spectacular, but once again, if we start getting Altarias down and Choice Bands involved, this can get much more dangerous. So don't be fooled by the blank stare when you see Hyper Voice just saying 80, but it does get way, way better. So we're hoping that Dragon Wisdom doing early pressure alongside the Altarias that we get down on turn 2 turns Hyper Voice into a much more dangerous threat. So we're going to be using Drampa to power himself up and also to power up the other Drampa that we have from Guardians Rising. It has a slightly worse opening attack. It lets you search your deck for a basic and attach it to this Pokemon. So again, following that theme of getting more energy out, which is good. But its second attack is slightly better than the Hyper Voice. It has some text involved in it. It does for 3 colorless 80, and you can move an energy from this Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon. This may be reminiscent of Y-Cyclone, because that's exactly what this attack is. And that was a really good attack back in the day with Yveltal EX. So Drampa now, with these buffs with Altaria and Choice Band, a much more dangerous attack, and we're also retaining energy. One thing that is kind of awkward about this deck, we're going to have some early game acceleration via the Dragon Wisdoms, but then mid game we don't really have any, so we're relying on the 1 energy attachments of Buzzwole, Latios, and also this one Drampa, that although it's a 2 attachment attacker, it can save 1 for later onto a different attacker. So we're hoping that the small amounts of acceleration and retention that we have in this deck means that we can keep attacking with these larger damage attacks in the mid to late game. So that is the intention of this list. From there, the last Dragon-type Pokemon we have is the unsung hero, Latios Prism Star, a very, very dangerous attacker when this deck gets rolling. It has 140 hit points, which is really annoying for the likes of Zoroark decks, especially if they're not playing Kukui. It's going to be really difficult for them. And it has this attack for a DCE. Dragon Fleet does 50 times the number of your Dragon Evolution Pokemon in play, which is very dangerous. If we have 2 Altarias in play, we can actually Guzma KO Tapu Lele's if we have a Choice Band, and if we have 3 in play, we're hitting 210 before Choice Band. So this guy gets pretty out of control as long as you start getting your Altarias on the board, and that is the intention of this list in the first place. So this Latios is really the star of the deck, and we try and get some big swing turns by getting him up into the active and taking big knockouts for 1 attachment. Speaking of which, we've seen Sledgehammer in many decks now. He's the front runner in his own deck alongside Garbodor. He's been alongside Buzzwole GX before. And we're going to keep him in here as well, seeing as though our entire deck can use colorless energy. We may as well put the fightings in here, slap one Baby Buzz in the list so that we can have the efficient Sledgehammer turn for that hopefully 2-prize swing. Definitely very helpful against Zoroark decks. Basically, we use him as well as the Latios Prism Star to try and get those big one-hit KOs, because otherwise Zoroark can just Ace a Roller or Max Potion off some sort of setup KOs that we try and attempt. So the Buzzwole is going to try and help out the Zoroark matchups. And finally, we're going to play 2 copies of Tapu Lele. Wonder Tag is going to be very important. We also have DCs in the deck for Energy Drive if we need to. Wonder Tag can fish out one of our most important supporters, Lance, which I'll get to in a moment, as well as just helping us be consistent in the early turns. So onto the item cards now. We're going to play 2 copies of Nest Ball. It's really frustrating that Swablu isn't a dragon type. It would be really nice for this deck, because then we could go full on with Mysterious Treasure. Because that's not the case, we're going to have Nest Ball in here. Just a couple copies. I can't really fit space for many more, but it's good to get these Swablus into play. Obviously, we do have Lance to get a couple Altarias out in the best case scenario, but we also have the traditional means of getting Altarias up, which is cool. The Nest Balls are also going to be nice for those Dragon Wisdoms to make sure we have targets to put these onto, and it also makes the Baby Buzz searchable. From there, we're going to play 2 copies of Rescue Stretcher. We are an all non-GX deck, and these can get munched through quite quickly, so having recycle for the Drampas is going to be important. And again, we're all about buffing our own damage, because inherently we don't do much, so having 2 Stretchers to make sure we have as many Altaria down on the board as possible is going to be important. Then we're going to play 3 copies of Ultra Ball. Obviously we have Nest Ball and Treasure already in the deck, so I feel like we don't need to have a full 4 copies, but it's good for getting your Lele outs and also good for discarding your fighting energies for that Dragon Wisdom attack. So still a relatively high count, even though the majority of our cards are actually searchable via Treasure. That's why we're maxing this out as a 4 count. Gets all the Dragon Pokemon, which is the majority of the engine in this deck. From there, only 2 copies of Shrine of Punishment. I'm expecting to face other Shrine variants, so I don't want to go all out and play 4. You could consider playing more, because we are trying to, get some chip damage in, and Shrine is great for that. But at the moment, I just want to be consistent, because we are slightly more setup focused than other Shrine builds. So we're just going to play 2 copies in here. I initially had 3, but the deck wasn't running as cleanly as I would have liked, so ended up cutting the 3rd for an extra supporter card, which is a pretty simple and reasonable change. So yes, the damage is really helpful for us in specific moments. It can help add up for these Altaria maths and stuff like that, and obviously the Drampas don't do too much on their own without the help of Shrine, so this is an important card. It still will tick over against some of these GX decks. It's just we don't present much of a stadium war. We're just trying to get these extra 1 or 2 damage counters on the board throughout the game to help us out later on. So although it is sort of a Shrine deck, we're not all in on it as some other lists can be. We are going to play the one of Lance Prism Star. Really cool card. Very excited to test this out in Expanded, actually. There's some really cool Stage 2s you can cheese out with this guy. There's also, of course, the Dragonite GX, which I'm going to try and get hold of, but they're really difficult right now because Dragon Majesty's just come out and everyone's trying to do inflated prices. So I was only able to get my hands on the Altarias so far. But yeah, Lance, really, really cool card. Allows you to search your deck for up to 2 Dragon Pokemon, put them onto your bench. We're going to use that to basically say, hey, you get to do 41 damage for the rest of the game. That sounds pretty good to me. So that's what we're going to try and do. Lance, getting out those Altarias. We don't really need much. We just need like basic fighting energies and other Pokemon on our bench, so we can just have that Lance turn. Then straight away, your Dragon's Wisdom is doing 60 on its own with Choice Band as well. That could be 90, which is already very good. 90 attaching one to your dude sounds really good. And if you even have Swablus and other Altarias available, that can get even more dangerous. So if we're doing like 110 for 1 on a Dragon Wisdom, we're going to be so happy. So yeah, Lance is a pretty good swing card for this deck. From there, going to play 2 copies of Tate Liza. It's our only switching option in here. I don't have any physical copies of Switch or Escape Rope or anything like that, so that's something worth noting. But also it's some additional shuffle draw for us, which is going to be nice. 4 copies of Lillie. I think we're okay to play 4 copies because we have so much discard. 4 Treasure and 3 Ultra Ball is a lot of insta-play stuff, and we play a lot of basics and a lot of tools and stuff like that. All of these cards are ones that we can just throw straight onto the board without too much clogging. So Lillie's hopefully going to be drawing us a lot of cards. Obviously in the early game, the first turn, it's going to get us a lot, so that's great. 4 copies of Cynthia, just the best supporter out there right now, and 4 Guzma as well, the other best supporter out there. This provides extra switching for us as well, so bear that in mind. But it's going to help us Grinch down some important cards. The Baby Buzz turn making sure we can hit a Zoroark, the Latios, making sure we get the most value out of him as possible. All going to be very important turns, and Guzma makes that all happen. 4 copies of Choice Band. I've said how important this deck is at climbing up those numbers. Choice Band's going to be one of the key features of that. 4 copies of DCE, obviously very important for the Drampa's attacks, as well as the Latios, the Lele, even the Altaria, as I mentioned. And 8 copies of Fighting. Hopefully this is enough to see them in the early game, so we can start treasuring and Ultra Balling them away, so we can start going into Dragon's Wisdom as soon as possible, because we need that as our early game acceleration to set up these Drampas throughout the rest of the game. So that is going to be the list. I'm not really going to go over anything that you could be playing. I've tried a few different things right now, but I've tried to simplify it as much as possible just for the purposes of this video. So you can have your own experimentation with some other maybe basic Dragon Pokemon that you want to be powering up. I've even tried Lightning Energies and a Tapu Koko GX. That's been okay, but I don't think it's been spectacular because you want your bench to be full of Altarias, not things that aren't Altaria. I've made the exception for Baby Buzzwole just because he's so damn good. So hopefully we can get some good games in here, and we'll see what's going on. For the budget, I've said it's low medium. Obviously the Altarias are quite difficult to get right now, but I'm expecting it to drop quite a lot. And also the Lance is difficult to get, but that's just because it's early ladder, so don't shout at me just for saying it's a low medium deck. I imagine these cards will eventually stabilize. We lead with a couple of Swablu, which is actually really good for us, even though we're going to have to like pay retreat on one of these. These are the cards that are hardest to find, so getting these down early is really nice. We don't mind if we don't Lance, if we can just find our Swablus naturally. Looks like we're up against a Garbodor deck that's playing counter energy as well, so we have to be on the lookout. This deck does need to get 2 Altarias into play to KO Kokos, so we're on the right track for that. We actually top deck a Lillie. They are playing Koko. It would be a great hand to Lillie, but we don't have that many insta-play cards, so we're going to go ahead and go for the Cynthia here. Hopefully we can just retreat into a Drampa and be fairly happy with that. We do have a Treasure. We'll fire one of these off. We have both Altarias ready to go for next turn, which is nice. We'll keep the Ultra Ball around, I think. Let's just grab ourselves a Wisdom Drampa. Get him out of here. And we'll retreat this Swablu. It's weak to Lightning. We don't want that. It gets the Fighting Energy in the discard pile for us as well. So we will hand it over to our opponent now. They'll probably get a couple of Flying Flips off because we need to Dragon Wisdom up first, which is a little bit dangerous. They do have Energy Lotto to try and dig out a DCE here, which they do indeed find. They are a Garbodor deck, and we do play a lot of discards, so eventually those Garbodors are going to be getting potent. The Sudowoodo is a little bit annoying because we do like to spread our board out a little bit. I think the Latios Prism Star is going to be insane in this matchup, though. If we can get that Latios down pretty quick before we start playing a bunch of item cards, it's going to get pretty out of control and just start slamming his board really hard. Potentially, if he plays Weavile, though, as another basic Pokemon, he could be okay. We'll have to see here. They're going to grab themselves an Oranguru. That's a potential card we could be playing. I feel sometimes we can get low hand sizes, and we could benefit from that guy, but for now, our opponent's just going to Instruct for 1 and Flying Flip us. And it's going to be a couple evolutions. Picking up the Fighting Energy is already very good for us. Let's slap that down. Let's go for the Cynthia. And no discarding cards, which is a bit of a shame. We can just Dragon Wisdom to the active, I guess. That's one difference between him and the Baby Veltol. It doesn't specify bench. It does allow you to go active. Opponent's going to Rainbow their Trubbish. At the moment, we're only at 1 item card. The 4 Choice Bands and the Shrine are looking like dead cards to us right now. We need some of our Ultra Balls and stuff to get discarding. They are going to evolve into Garbodor. They're going to play an Ultra Ball as well, lowering their hand size. There's a Koko. They actually got rid of a Field Blower. That might mean that we're safe with our own tools to come down now. They're going to Instruct for 1 once again. And they're just going to flying flip. Okay. The Altarias unfortunately have 80 hit points. I think the old one actually had more HP, which is a bit of a shame. We can play our second item of the game here. Get ourselves out a Drampa. I think we want to get Drampa. Seeing as though we have a basic energy, I mean, if we had a DCE, the Latias would be a pretty good bet here, but I think the Drampa's fine. We can go for a Dragon Wisdom to KO the active thanks to our buffs, and then we can... I might get this one. It's always an interesting decision whether, like, which Drampa you want to get down. I think I will start slapping choice bands on the board just so we can draw some cards here. With the Lillie, because we want to get out of this hand. We do pick up a DCE, so that's going to be nice for some future turns. I won't start playing a bunch of item cards because that's the only thing that our opponent can really do here, other than spam Coco. So we're going to take a knockout. They are going to promote Coco. It has the free retreat. Yeah, it's a real shame these don't have 90. Maybe the old ones have 70. I can't remember. I feel like it was 90 though. Then in Nest Ball out another Coco. They're going to be able to get some juicy flying flip prizes eventually. They're going to play a Guzma here. Oh, maybe they're whiffing on DCE. Or maybe they're just trying to stall us. Either way. Yep, they have a counter energy. And flying flip. So I guess... we want to keep attacking their Cocos, because they're the biggest threats here. Let's go for this. Power Cyclone, thanks to these buffs, will get the knockout. Let's put a fighting on our other Drampa. Second prize of the game, they'll be doing the exact same straight afterwards with the flying flip. We currently don't have... Well, we do have means of getting a Lance if we want to use a Treasure or an Ultra Ball. But that would mean putting a Lele down, and that's a little bit sketchy. They're going to Treasure here. Probably getting more Trubbish out. Oh, they have the Fairy Lele. Uh-oh, that could be some shenanigans. Just a rainbow, so no shenanigans just yet. They do instruct for 2. There's the flying flip for 2 prizes on their end. So it is actually our Baby Buzz turn, but we're not looking at any fighting energies right now. So I think we're going to DC the active, and we're going to treasure away this Shrine. It will be our 3rd item card. And I think we're just going to grab another Drampa. The Latios, not looking good when we don't have any Altarias even in the deck. We only have that one in our hand. Seeing as we've already committed 2 choice bands, I don't see why we shouldn't commit another. It allows us to draw an extra card. Stretching back in some Altarias would be nice. But I don't think there's a need to right now. We'll just put a Swablu down. And again, we'll do that Power Cyclone. Only doing 80 because he's been able to get rid of a couple of our Altarias. They currently have 120 damage on our board if they want to do Lele shenanigans, but I don't feel like they will. The Fairy Lele is a little bit more scary because it can deal with our Drampas a lot more efficiently. They're going to use Guzma. They're going to deal with our other Drampa, it looks like, with that Psy Wave. This is actually our most damaged Drampa, so I don't mind this at all. Not a huge problem. They're going to start playing some choice bands. It allows them to instruct again. See, this is like the weird thing that's going to start happening. You're going to start queuing into other shrine decks, and it's like, which shrine deck beats the other shrine deck? It's going to be a very strange and bizarre sort of few games that you'll have. 1, 2, 3, that's our 4th item with a choice band hitting the discard, so I think we're pretty happy to just use this one now. We'll be able to get the knockout thanks to this Altaria that we can play. So that's what we'll do. Now we can play one more item card if we really want to, but not both. I feel like we won't play either if we're not going to play both. That was weird, like, backwards logic, but there's no point in us just stretching out a Swablu if both of our Altarias in the discard pile, so we'll just go for this for now. Probably have to unload the Ultra Ball next turn if we don't go for a Guzma play on the Garbodor. We'll see. There goes the Fairy Lele. Have they already got rid of a Stretcher? No, they have Stretchers available, so this Fairy Lele is going to be a real pain, especially if they're able to get a knockout by attaching a counter energy at any point. If they have to use Rainbows, it's not a worry, but it is a worry if we can't respond on it, obviously. At the moment, counter energy is not live, though, so that's good. They may be in an awkward spot this turn. This could be the Shrine deck that beats the other Shrine deck. They can Guzma KO the Altaria. I guess that would be pretty annoying. They're actually just going to go ahead and put a DC on the active and go for a flying flip, it looks like. When non-GX nonsense meets non-GX nonsense, it can only lead to nonsense. Yep, there is the flying flip. We actually get a Tate Liza, which is not too shabby. Let's put energy down. So we really don't want to pay an item this turn. No, we'll just use the Tate Liza. For a fresh 5. We can actually use the Dragon Wisdom, I think, this turn. Yep. And we were just hoping he doesn't play another Field Blower. If not, he could be in trouble. If he does, we could be in trouble. Because that Garbodor won't go anywhere. So it's really down to if he has Field Blower. It is a Garbodor deck, so there is potential to play 2. Oh boy, here comes Daddy Garb. If he does get access to Field Blower, we're going to be in trouble. Nest Ball. And he's going to play Judge. What a bizarre game. They're going to play Stretcher as well. Get some more targets back in their deck. Oh, just the Fairy Lele. Sounds good. They're going to rainbow the other Garb. So that's actually, they're out of rainbows now. Ooh, a Guzma. Does that mean we can take a KO on anything? Yeah, it means we can KO a Pseudo Wudo. Or this. we want to do that. So obviously everything's in range now, so we just stretcher back. We play double... No, we just play one stretcher. Actually, if we have a Swablu in deck, this would be better. Okay, no Swablu in the deck. That's fine, though. Because we're already going overboard on the item count. So we're going to be one away. We know they have access to the Fairy Lele, and they can go into the Coco and take the KO. But we've set up the other Swablu now to hopefully be able to finish it off, even if he's using counter energy. There is the Fairy Lele. And he's going to play Judge. So we know we do have one Altaria currently in the deck. There it is. They're going to play Treasure. Get rid of another Judge. Looks like they're playing a lot of those. Yeah, plays full 4 Judge. He's going to get nothing. Just instruct for 3. They might even go counter energy. Oh no, just a DC. Okay, looks like we win. They take the 1 prize here. I mean, he can do whatever he wants. He can take 1 prize by flipping or 1 prize by garb, but that'll be it. So let's just give him the bad news. Bad news being that we can hit 120. Very simple bad news. There it is. So, being able to beat the other Shrine decks is quite funny. You have to keep an eye on your own item count, but that's about it. The fact that Altaria only has 80 hit points is a little sad. But we got there. We got there. Let's try and find another game against hopefully not another Shrine deck. I think the biggest concern of a Shrine deck would be the Buzz Weavile rather than Buzz Garb. Because obviously the more Altarias you have, the more the Weavile's going to be doing. So that's where it's really important for us to keep an eye on how many Altarias we put into play, and also keep using those energy retention attacks as much as possible. You saw that we ended up with 3 powered up Drampas by the last turn, just because of gaining and retaining energy cards. We're going to lead with a Swablu here. A couple nice ball search cards and an opening Lillie isn't bad. He's playing Fire Sleeves. What on earth is this? Are we up against a Kiawe deck? If it's a big GX deck, we're typically happy to see it. We've seen a Rangaroo. Let's see, Nestball. Zoroark. Okay. Have to be on our toes against Zoroark always, because they can draw good. So, looking at Baby Buzzwole is going to be important here. Looking to see if Latios is in the deck as well. Going to be good to look at. I'm going to get a couple Zorua down early with Nestball, pre-supporter. It's like they've had a free Apricorn Maker. They're going to Ultra Ball away. Stretcher and Goose. Interesting they got rid of Guzma, because they're going to have to find a way to move this Guru. Unless they can attach to it turn 1. They're going to grab themselves Lele. This could be a big Lillie turn. that's what we're looking to do next turn as well. Yep, it's going to be Lillie. They're getting at least 6 here, maybe 7 if they have any more playables. Maybe even the full 8, who knows. Let's see how magical it's going to get. Yep, there's a DCU to the Zorua. It's the same as attaching it to the active, really. He puts himself in the line of Lele Guzma DCU, but after seeing a Swablu, he may not be on the lookout for that sort of stuff. Okay, let's Ultra Ball away. These two. And we're going to have a quick scout to see what's going on here. We do have both of our one-of dudes, all 3 of our one-of dudes actually. Is Lance in here as well? Yep, Lance is here. Only 1 shrine is a bit frustrating. But anyway. We'll grab ourselves a Drampa. And we'll nest ball out another Swablu. We're going to hope to find more Ultra Balls and Treasures alongside some energy cards here. No energy turn 1. Oh, that's so bad for us. We do get a Drampa and a Swablu though. This deck cannot afford to miss attachments. It's really is a problem. We've got to pass it over here. Not great news for us. They have Timer Ball, getting 1 heads. Oh, Lillie, letting us down. I mean, ultimately, wherever the attachment have gone, maybe it's not too bad. It means that he doesn't need to Guzma this turn, but he probably still does just for his own guru's sake, so potentially would have just had to attach a Swablu and use Collect anyway. Maybe that was our best move. Yeah, maybe it's not too huge because we led Swablu. We'll see though. You know, in an ideal world, we have like 2 energy cards, but whatever. Just means we have to dig a little bit more for them. They're going to keep trading. They actually play Fairy Lele as well, so they're likely playing at least 1 or 2 rainbows. Or no, they can play the blends, right? The not blend, unit energies. Actually just DC their Rockruff. And there is the Guz. Picking up the Drampa with the Choice Band, obviously. Drampa, unfortunately, does have 120 hit points. I'd love him to have had 130, even just to force a Stadium out of them. Because the Stadium buffs our damage. But anyway, here comes Drampopper. You can get 2 Altarias down thanks to this Rescue Stretcher. And I'm thinking I want to play this Ultra Ball, even though it is 2 supporter cards that we're binning. You know what, it's so good to draw Ultra Ball off of the Cynthia, because then we can get discard cards as well, so let's be a little greedy. We hit 1 energy card that we can discard, but it means that we can't Dragon Twist into anything, so we'll put the Baby Buzz down, threaten that. So this has worked out okay for us. We can actually do this as well. Get rid of the Lillie. 3 Altarias down, so this Dragon's Wisdom is doing a lot here, doing 110. Unfortunately, we're not able to power up anything in the process, and it is a Zoro deck that has heal, more than likely. The Zoro rocks oftentimes only play 1 Acerola, but it's a new format. People change their counts a lot, so I couldn't tell you with great certainty. Regardless, we're going to see the Zoroark start to trade. The good news for us is that the Lycanroc can't take a KO on the Drampa without using a GX attack. He may also try and GX the Buzzwole. He could also use Kukui, actually. He could Lycanroc KO with Kukui, because he doesn't want to use a Zoroark this time, because we're threatening a Baby Buzz. So we'll see how he tries to navigate this. Putting the Buzzwole down proactively is always not ideal, but this deck doesn't play a huge amount of switch cards, so we'll have to live with it. They are going to play Ultra Ball here. Getting rid of an E-Hammer is something we like to see. They're going to grab another Zoroark. Number 3. If they decide to put it down, that is. Yep. And they're going to trade once more. Why not? Can't blame them. Getting rid of a Rockruff. They must be looking hard for something like a Kukui, I imagine. Or heal for this Zoroark. But the heal doesn't really make sense if he's going down to 4 prizes anyway. So yeah, he's just going to have to Riotous Beating. Letting the Buzzwole come up and take potentially 2 prizes here. As long as we don't whiff a basic fighting. Oh, good. Let's slap that down. We could actually have got the KO with the Altaria, which is hilarious. I'm going to play the Choice Band because I'm so paranoid about how these decks dead draw when they don't have a draw engine. So, and look, we didn't draw into any draw supporters, so these suspicions are not for nothing. We're able to nest ball out that Latios now, presenting another threat to him, which is really cool. And we'll take this Sledgehammer knockout. Picking up 2 Cynthias off the prizes is pretty nice. They're going to go into Rockruff. They're probably going to Lycanroc GX attack the Latios. He may still be scared of the Buzzwole though, if he wants to put down any more Zoruas or anything like that. But of course, he can kick off with the trades before anything else. Here comes the Lycanroc. It may have been naive of me to put this down. Yeah, it probably is naive. The only reason I put it down was because we don't have switching cards in this deck, so you kind of are forced to play things proactively, but it is awkward. They also have Diancie. That doesn't change the numbers here. He's still going to have to GX attack us. Oh no, he's not, because he has Kukui. There you go. That's really good for him. So they can just Claw Slash, take the knockout. That's really going to be hard for us now. Okay, let's go into Buzzwole. I think we're just going to Lance here. Get to use our Prism Star, which is nice. We are now very weak to Enhanced Hammer. We're going to slap the Choice Band active. And go for this Sledgehammer. We're also kind of worried about any healing that they can play. If they are playing Acerola, that would be ugly at this point. We've seen 1 Enhanced Hammer. They typically come in 2s, so that's something to be concerned about here. The Altaria army is nice and ready though. Doing an extra 80. Ridiculous. We're going to see another trade. Hand size is ridiculous at this point. So powerful. I wonder if they play extra stadiums or Kukuis so that they can... Well, it would have to be a stadium if they want to do an Acerola play. They could pay retreat Kukui, I guess, to get the kill on this Baby Buzz. Or they can just do a Goose. They're going to Field Blower. If not, it just means he has to go in with the Lycanroc, which is not bad for us at all. If he has to Claw Slash here. He might Guzma this. Take the KO with the Zoroark. Or E-Hammer this. Like, there's so many things he can do that's painful at this point. There are 2 Guzmas in his discard pile. Wow, we're actually just going to see a Judge. That's hurting him way more than us, I would say. Even though we have 2 Cynthias in our hand from our prizes, I still think that's not great on his end. We draw pretty nicely off of it. Wow, that's really incredible for us. I'm surprised that's worked out as well as it has. Because we are going to be able to KO this Lycanroc and put energy onto our bench guy, as long as we find a benched guy. Let's go Cynthia. I don't know if we have any bench dudes. We don't draw into Drampa. We may have to get out a Lele here just to... Yep. Our third Drampa is actually prized, so this is pretty rough. Let's get this out. Let's threaten the Guzma. Definitely not ideal here. Let's go for the Power Cyclone. 2 more prizes. We got close. It's just the fact that we had Stretcher and our third Drampa prized. And the fact that I kind of sacked Latias when I didn't really need to. So we're still in a tough spot here. He can just simply KO Drampa, not get KO'd, and go for a Guzma for game. I'd imagine that's probably his route. He just has to not throw, basically. Not miss a basic Pokemon. 1, 2, 3, 4. He'll still have plenty of Leles to put down. He's going to start by trading. Now I can see a Mallow as well. E-Hammer would be sad. Obviously any Pokemon he can put down is a worry. Especially if he can put down another. If he plays 3 Rockruff, that would be really scary. Actually, he's lost 2 Lycanrocs. Less scary when 2 Stretchers and Lycanroc have gone. I doubt he plays more than that. But we'll see what he goes for. Probably DC, E-Hammer, something along those lines. There's the DCE. Azura, yep. It's fine. He had Nest Ball already, though. And yep, there is the Radis Beating. We don't play any hand disruption. Because we're a deck that goes all in. So we just have to hope that he can't deal with the bench Pokemon here. Hope that he only plays 2 Guzma because he's a Lycanroc deck. That's the dream. And hope that he has no healing. Wait, okay. No, that's fine. It's fine. We can pay retreat into the Drampa if he... Yep, there's Goose. Not a surprise. And I imagine there's the last DC in there as well. There it is. So, not quite perfect. Can blame the prizes a little bit. We didn't get to use Latios as well. I kind of misused it. I feel like that would have been an important card in that matchup. So, a bit of a slip up on my part there. Let's get one more game in with the deck though. We got close against the Zoro Lycanroc, which isn't a bad thing. Probably one of the more difficult matchups. Zoroark deck's always tricky. So let's have this last game. See how we go. I want to get a nice game with Latios. I want to demonstrate how insane that card is. Because it really does get ridiculous from the off. You do lead with a nice Drampa. Always like leading Drampa. Even going first, it's good, I think. And there's another Zoro deck, so I'm just going to bump the Buzzwole down straight away. I don't feel bad about attaching to the Buzzwole straight away either. I'm going to Ultra Ball. Get rid of these. And we're going to do a Lillie, I think. Let's see, the Latios is here. All of our Altarias are here. We've once again prized one of our Drampas, so be on the lookout for that. We do have both stretches this time. Okay, not bad. We have the Lance. So let's drop the Lele. Say yes. Because we have our other choice bands, I'm pretty happy to attach this to the Drampa to draw an extra card. I'm glad that I can hold on to a Guzma here because it presents some good early pressure with the Buzz. We're able to put one Swablu down, which is not bad. Okay, we'll end it there. Potential Lele for Lance as well. Isn't too shabby. It would get 3 Altarias down, which is exactly what we need against Zoroark players to hit 210. They go straight for a Judge, though. We didn't actually have a draw supporter in our hand, so it's not the worst outcome. Now we do have a draw supporter in our hand. They're able to find one more Zorua. We can stretch an Altaria. And we actually can just go aggressive here. We can Tate Liza for the switch effect. Or I could pay retreat. This is actually close. Pay retreat means we're all in on the Buzzwole, but it's not likely he can respond on it. I think I'm paying retreat and shuffling up. It's close though. It's actually close here. More so we can try and have Lance out. That's going to be the spice. We'll put the pressure on. Dramp having one retreat is pretty nice. Do I want to put this down? Yeah, I think I do. If anything gets knocked out, it'll pave the way for potential Lance plays anyway. Being able to take a Zoro off the board and take a prize, both two very good things. Pick up a treasure as well. In comes another Zorua. They just scoop, okay. A Zoroark deck drew badly because they played Judge on themselves. Let's have one more game then. I was expecting to have a longer one. But Baby Buzzwole, still good against Zorua. Huh. Who knew? Yeah, it's a nice one-off to have for the deck. Potentially more if it comes to pass that it's that important. If Zoroark remains prevalent, which it pretty much always will. We're actually up against Bulucast, so hey Bulucast if you're watching. Time for some memery. Let's see how it goes. Let's say hey to him. We get an opening Cynthia and an opening Treasure, not too bad. Especially if we can discard this fighting energy. Actually, we might use to pay the Lele, the Swablu retreat. They're playing a Psychic deck of sorts with DC as well, and Nespools. So it could be the Coco Garb again. Let's draw a couple Mulls. Can only help us. Yep, that looks like Trubbish. I've seen it before, and that's what it looks like. Okay. Let's use a Mysterious Treasure. Get rid of this. Get a Drampa down. Good card is Drampa. I actually should have checked if Lance was in deck. That's weird from the offset. As I said, I'm suspicious about how this deck draws cards, so we're going to play them down, even though it is a little weak against potential Field Blower. Let's go for this. Put the Shrine down just to thin our hand. It means that he now has 4 dead slots in his deck. It might even bait the Blower to go not on tool cards, which would be nice. There is a Field Blower. Just going to go ahead and get rid of probably at least 1 tool and decide if he wants to put his own Shrine in or not. I can see him getting rid of our stadium just so that he can have more thinning. Yeah, that's exactly what he's going to do. Seeing as though we've already seen that his deck is Oranguru reliant, so having less dead cards is going to be good for him. Going to see the Ultra Ball. Getting rid of a treasure and a choice band of his own. Interesting. Oh, it's Zorogarb. Okay. Definitely very different to the deck that we've been against then. That's why he's getting rid of the stadium. Because he's worried about that stuff. And we're going to see a turn 1 Lillie. For a clean 6 cards. Let's see Nest Balls. And it's going to pass over to us. We pick up an Ultra Ball, which is going to be nice. So that we have a target for our Drampa. As in another Drampa. Who knew? I'm expecting to draw an energy off this Cynthia here. If we don't, we're in real bad shape, but we play so many that it's so likely. Let's do this. Get more Swablus. This time we'll keep the Latios and the Buzzwole a little bit more protected. And we'll go for the Dragon Wisdom from the off. Does open up Ace Roller plays, but he doesn't have any Zoroarks on the board just yet. So I'm not too concerned. They are going to go ahead and grab Garbodor. We have 4 items played. We also have Zoroark. That's going to get a trade in. Noticing that Choice Band's not going to be a big deal for him. Going to see a Guzma dealing with a Swablu. Surprising that he's going for this over the Altaria. It also could have got an item in the discard pile for him. Huh, curious. Well, okay. Let's go ahead and bring up Drampa. I was thinking of Lillying over the Cynthia, but after drawing a second Lillie, it's not enough cards, so let's recycle. Oh boy, there's Lance Prism Star. There he is. Let's go for the Hyper Voice. Hit him for 130. Zorogarb definitely plays a decent amount of heal. It plays probably at least 1 Acerola and likely also Max Potion, rather than just 1 in Zoroarks. He's going to trade away a Lillie off the bat. He's also going to need to find some basic Pokemon as well, though, so it might be difficult for him to get all those basics whilst using Acerola at the same time. So that might be the only thing going for us right now. Here comes the Tapu Lele, though. Let's see what he goes for. going to be that Acerola. It's really nice if he has another basic to put down. If not, I'm not too worried about it. Maybe going into a Lele, actually. No, it is going to be a Zorua that comes up here. One more trade, of course. This could be a way to find a basic. Oh, actually got rid of an Ultra Ball, so he's likely got it. Yep, there's an S-Ball. Probably getting down another Trubbish or Zorua. Either are very good targets at this point. Means we can Tate Liza for an Altaria. Oh, sorry, we can Lance for an Altaria and a Latios. Oh man, if we top deck something good here, we could actually get a Latios KO, and that would be insane. If we top deck a means to Altaria, which we actually have a lot of, this could be huge. Oh my god, okay. Well, here we go. This might be our Latios game. Big daddy draw. Big daddy damage. Let's go. The fleet is here. Pow pow. Not enough items in the discard pile for Garbodor just yet. This Latios may be difficult to deal with. If he plays Kukui, that might be his only out here. Like, realistically, if he plays Kukui, we're actually not in great shape. But if he doesn't, this is going to be powerful. Here comes another Nest Ball. I'm glad we got to see Latios at least take one big munch out of a Zoroark. And we got to see Lance in full fruition as well. That's fun. There's the Psych Energy, so it looks like he's just going to go for a... Okay, E-Hammer and Trash is a good answer. And a Judge to boot as well, making it hard for us to respond. They're going to get a trade in. Get rid of a Goose. Good news for us. That's 2 Guzma down. It's going to hit us for 100. I think here we just Guzma the Zorua. Try and get more Drampas going. Oh, I actually misplayed so bad. We were on 4 prizes. I could have Nestballed the Baby Buzz. Oh man, we could have destroyed him. Oh, I feel so bad now. Ah, that's such a big deal. I feel like we absolutely crush if I did that. That's just bad sequencing as well. If I just sequenced in the correct way. Yeah. Feels bad, man. Oh, it could have been annihilated. That would have been so cool. I mean, it is pretty lucky of us to hit our last Nest Ball when we only played 2 on the turn, but whatever. He repromotes the Zoroark and he has 1 trade, 2 Guzmas in the discard pile, so he may not be able to deal with this Latios. If he can't, we're in, again, really good shape. There's another Garbodor coming in. So we have to start fighting for a load of non-GXs. There's another Psych Energy. So yeah, it looks like he must have Guzma if this is his line. Yep, there's another Lele. But we have Drampas lining up to do stuff. There's the Goose. The Latios is too dangerous. Ah, I'm so sad. I'm so sad I missed the Baby Buzz turn. Could cost us. Shrine is going to be a nice pickup for us here. I think we're just going to Guzma his Garb and hit it for 80 for the knockout. Ah, is that right though? It's probably better for us to hyper voice the active, right? It's kind of the same. The Guzma's a guaranteed knockout, whereas we only have 2 DCs in the deck. But the only good thing about, doing the Guzma play, or sorry, the draw cards, is that we can draw into more draw cards. I think the guaranteed prize is too important here, though. I think we just gotta go for it here. Do this. 80 for 1 is so silly. And we'll take a prize. Hopefully it's a good one. Not great. Now we're threatening Energy Guzma for game on any Lele. And also threatening the response on the Garb. That's a lot of shrine damage. Bad news for us is we put our own Lele down, which accelerates his win condition on the other end. He only has 1 Zoroark though, so he's still a mortal man at this point. You're going to see a Field Blower immediately get rid of the at least the Choice Band here. Him actually getting rid of the Shrine really helps us. He actually might have wanted the Shrine for 1 more tick on our own guy there. He's going to play Sorola, pick up 1 of his Leles. Then he's going to Nest Ball. For no target. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, that's really good news for us. He's prized a Zorua at the very least. And probably a Trubbish as well. That's some awkward prizes for him. If we get a Draw Supporter or an Energy card, we're in tremendous shape here. Oh, he hasn't prized a Zorua. What am I saying? There's 2 in the discard. Oh no, yeah, there was 1 in his hand. He's actually going to attach the Lele here. Just go for a Trash Launch for the knockout. So we got to be ballsy here and go for the Drampa. At the very least, we can Stretcher and Dragon Wisdom, but we do pick up an Energy card. And honestly, I think he's so low on Pokémon. We may be able to just smack and smack. 1, 2, and he chose to Nest Ball fail. That's what's throwing me here. He can have potential other Leles, sure. Are we going all in? I think we have to. I don't want to play any of these cards, but I don't want to draw any of these cards if we get judged. We might need this Choice Band to guarantee game alongside Goose. I think we just hold everything. Give him the Hyper Voice and see if he has enough basics. Also, him playing Kukui would be real bad news for us. We could actually have game via his Zorua if he can't evolve it. He does have enough basics to KO this Drampa. Thanks to the Latios. She's holding on to. Is he able to evolve this Zorua? I mean, all of his Zoroarks are in the deck. What's this Lele going to be? Is it going to be a Judge or is it going to be a Different support. It's going to be Mallow. Okay, so we can't risk missing DC, obviously. It's probably just going to be DC Zoroark, right? That puts us in real bad shape. Yeah, bad shape for sure. How many Guzmas has he played? He's played 3 Guzmas. So again, we're in that spot where we really don't want Guzma to win him the game. We're going to have to promote our Lele here. And pray for no Goose. We'll Ultra Ball. Grab ourselves a Lele. And we'll stretch her back. A Dramps. Could still be our win condition as long as he... Like, we have to play as if he doesn't have Guzma now. Otherwise, we just lose. So our win con is to draw into an energy and then into a DC and Guzma. Oops, let's use Lillie while we can. Well, there's the first energy. We don't currently have the other in our hand. Let's try and thin our last card to now have 2 draws out of, so a 1 in 5, a 20% chance to win if he doesn't have Guzma. Doesn't sound great. All because I didn't do the bloody sledgehammer turn. Ugh, man, feels so bad. Would have been so perfect. We had the energy, the nest ball, the goose. It was all there. I absolutely threw it away. Would have been a very different game from that point. There's DC. He's put it to the bench. You know what that means. It's well played time. And, again, just losing. We got to see the Latios and the Lance pull up a good shift there, though. Had I had done the correct move, we'd probably win. But there you go. Yeah, at least they were fun games. It's fun to navigate those matchups. There's definitely something towards the Altaria and the Lance. There's some fun stuff to be had. The Latios is a very dangerous attacker that, if left unchecked, is going to be ridiculous. They were able to get the E-hammer off, plus a judge to answer us in that case, which is a bit of a shame. But otherwise, it could have roamed that board, and also I missed the Buzz turn, which is, yeah, gonna be slated for that one in the comments, I imagine. But yeah, fun deck. Let me know what you guys think. Are you going to test around with any other Altaria stuff? There's obviously the Dragonite GX, which people want to test out. But seeing Lance in action was pretty fun today. And hope you guys are all excited for the new Dragon Majesty cards. Our set review is coming out in 1 or 2 days. I know it's weird for us to start doing videos about decks before we get to do the set review. But I had to get the community majority ratings sorted. I left that till late, so trying to get a few more answers and responses to that, which you can find on Facebook, by the way. If you go onto Verbank or Heyfonte, you can, or just the OmniPoke on Facebook, you can find the link to the community set ratings for Dragon Majesty. I'll still leave it open for another day or so. So then we'll record that and get going with a new format. So hope you did enjoy the sort of fun deck today, and yeah, we'll be back with more soon. Cheers.